The government of India has hit out at the vaccine myths that it calls are being propagated against the government's existing vaccine policy. Myth 1, according to the government, the centre is not doing enough to buy vaccines from abroad. The government says it is engaged with global manufacturers, but there's a limited supply. Myth 2, the centre has not approved vaccines that are available globally. The government says that it is proactively easing the entry of global vaccines. However, there are no application of foreign manufacturers pending. The centre is not doing enough to ramp up production. The government says that Covaxin production has been increased from 1 crore to 10 crore doses a month by October. Covishield is being ramped up from 6.5 crores to 11 crore doses a month. Myth 4, according to the government, centre should invoke compulsory licensing. If vaccine making was so easy and it was developed so easily, then the world wouldn't be short of doses, is what the government has said. The centre has abdicated its responsibility towards states, to which the centre responds. The centre says that it is doing all the heavy lifting by enabling states to try and procure vaccines on their own. So that's the detailed list. There are more facts and myths that have been listed out by the government, but let's first get a sense of why the government has put out this list of vaccine myths. Sunil Prabhu joins us for the very latest. Sunil, the central government has come under a lot of criticism lately over this fragmented vaccine procurement policy, with many states coming out and saying that their tenders have not yielded in anything. The government now has said that it's doing the heavy lifting, it's doing all the work, but is acknowledging that vaccines are in short supply.
It's acknowledging it's in short supply, but sadly, they are not acknowledging the fact that they were also late in going ahead and ensuring that these vaccines that are much required now and are a life and death matter for many people should have been and proactively procured much earlier. So that's where in this entire midst you're not going to be able to get any clear answer. That's what opposition parties have been asking, saying, why didn't you take steps effectively earlier? India has been world over known as the pharmacy or the pharmacy manufacturing hub of the world, and you should have really used this opportunity. So somewhere down the line there is some faults. The government on its part has tried to say and try to defend itself. We have a very defensive press release today by Dr. V.K. Paul, trying to defend whatever he has been able to do in the last 1 year. But definitely, as I pointed out, one of course was why didn't they go proactively while UK or the United States had gone ahead and allowed vaccine manufacturers and given them the leeways and the legal indemnity that were required to manufacture and to be proactive on that. India's government has been found wanting on that. The second and the most important is, if you see between the lines, and which is the real crux of the issue, is shifting the blame to the states. Now saying that health is a state subject. If health was a state subject, then why did you invoke the National Disaster Health Management Act? Why did you do a national lockdown? Why did you usurp all the positions that were required for the states in the first place? This is what state chief ministers are asking. And why are you doing politics at this time? These are the questions that have to be answered by the government of India. And these are issues that they need to address somewhere down the line. The problem is that, yes, they have attempted to try to correct the messaging to ensure that the government narrative is now at least seen as having acted, but a little bit too late. But nevertheless, the fact is that the government is now saying we will ensure and we will discuss with Pfizer or J&J, Johnson & Johnson or Moderna in trying to get vaccines to India. Apart from the already three existing vaccines, we will have no drugs. The drugs controller has no vaccine pending with us at the present stage, and we will proactively work with them to ensure that they come to India. How soon that will happen is anybody's guess, but definitely something that we are hoping will fructify into some reality.
All right. Very interesting to note, though, that myth 7 that's been listed by the government, Sunil, actually says that the centre is not taking steps to vaccinate children. The government says this is a myth because there's no country at the moment that's doing it. There's no WHO recommendation. But the truth is that the Pfizer vaccine is being given to those above the age of 12 in the United States. Proactively, children are being vaccinated in schools. And in fact, we reported yesterday on how it's a carnival atmosphere, as this is to encourage students to come out and get the vaccine. We will continue to keep a close watch on these developments. Thanks so much for joining us with that update. We have with us on the broadcast Reena Gupta, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Dr. Padma Srivastava, Chief of Neurosciences, joining us from AIIMS, and Dr. Sunila Garg, Professor Community Medicine, member Lancet Commission and the COVID India Task Force, also a fellow with the WHO and ICMR. Dr. Sunila Garg, I want to begin by asking you, the government has issued a whole host of clarifications, call it damage control, defense, whatever you like, about the current vaccination policy. The bottom line is that whatever the government might say, the fact is that there is a very real shortage of COVID-19 vaccines that India is facing, several states are facing. The pace of our vaccination is slow given the fact that we have a large population to vaccinate.
Yeah, thank you so much. Basically, I have discussed this many times on your show that since May onwards, we are facing the shortage of vaccines because we started in a phased manner, and then gradually when we opened up to 18 to 45 plus, then came the real challenge for us for having the vaccines. But, ultimately what we have to realize is that majority of the countries have gone through this phase. And the second thing what we have to realize is India is a big country, huge country, and where even if we out of 137 crores, we have to look at 80 crore individuals into 2 doses, we are still going to require 160 crore number of doses, of which I told you that we had estimates that we are going to ramp up the production from July to August onwards, where we will have 2 vaccines particularly, which will be ramped up. That is Pfizer, Serum Institute of India's vaccine and Bharat Biotech's vaccine. Along with that, we'll have Sputnik vaccine, plus we'll be having Zycovid also. So because they are completing nearly their phase 3 trials, so that's how we ramp up the capacity, and we will go ahead with the vaccination part. And as has been pointed out, and I have been repeatedly telling, that no nation or no state can fight the war alone, because if the virus is going to go, it is going to go collectively out of the globe and also out of all our states. So we have to work collectively together.
But Dr. Garg, as someone who understands the nuances of public health, many questions, and we have a representative of the Congress and Aam Aadmi Party on the broadcast, and we will go to them in just a bit. But the point that they've been raising, is that was it wise for us to have sent vaccines to other countries at a time when we know we have a large population to vaccinate ourselves?
Yeah, thank you so much for this question, because you see, we all know that no vaccine can be manufactured overnight. It takes about quite some time. And from, about 4 months before, almost, this vaccine manufacturing had started. And, it was a calculated risk on part of the government and on part of the manufacturers, because it has got to get the several approvals as well. So by the time we rolled out the vaccine, it was almost, 4 months.
Yes.
And we were remaining with 2 months, at that point of time. So then, whatever we could vaccinate, so it is always better that let not the vaccine be wasted out and let it be used under COVAX by other countries. So that's how the vaccine. So I also think from public health perspective that we will, as I said, that we will be only protected where our neighbors are also protected. So that's why under COVAX, it is important.
Right. Dr. Padma Srivastava, would you tend to agree the government is now talking about ramping up production, whether it's for Covaxin or Covishield by October? Questions therefore are being asked on why this was already not being done. And therefore, an allied question that I'd also like to ask you is, did the government roll out the vaccine for the 18 to 44 age group when it was not prepared to actually do so?
Right. Rishika, as I understand, there's been some clarifications which have just been aired by Professor Paul from NITI Aayog, and there's been a lot of corrective measures that are being undertaken, which is a welcome measure. But I would rather, talk about the myths and misconceptions about the evolving science of COVID, about vaccine and other issues, rather than, trying to look at the blame game between the center versus states and the rollout program. Obviously, there has been an issue. And it is better to address these issues and accept the limitations and work towards it holistically as a team, rather than say that we've done this and you've not done that. I think this is what every educated person would say. And we have bigger challenges in front of us, not just the demand, but also the supply chain. We need to tweak a lot of the, how you're going to get those vaccines across to the public. We can't be, sitting on a COVID app and somebody's going to register on it. That's not going to work out. We need to reach out to the public now and probably employ the electoral system, which is a well-oiled machinery, reach out to people there. Go and vaccinate. And that's, I think, that machinery also needs to be worked out in parallel to getting the demand and supply balance in. So I guess we should stop this blame game and work holistically. Yes, there's been a lot of issues, and unless we now take in this plateau and work on it, at least by year end, maybe we'll be better prepared. If at all we're going to hit by a third wave,
well, which is a possibility. It's very important what you say, Dr. Srivastav, because the larger question that you raise is, do we need a myth buster or do we need a plan of action? And what is the plan of action? The government said it's planning to ramp up production. Questions, of course, on why it didn't do it earlier. Adil Singh Boprait, you want to come in here? The government has listed out 7 myths as far as the vaccine strategy is concerned and issued a clarification for each.
Well, Rishika, first and foremost, unfortunately, even in times of a national emergency, the BJP and Mr. Narendra Modi are more interested in managing perceptions and headlines rather than managing the crisis. And in this process, what they're doing is that they're strangulating the truth and peddling lies. Let me highlight 4 very critical issues which are undisputed. Number 1, it is a matter of fact that the government of India between October to March did not place advance orders. That is the primary reason for the shortage of vaccines, number 1. Number 2, what did the government do over the past 15 months to augment domestic manufacturing? Aadhar Poonawalla was on record citing shortage of funds as late as the 4th week of May. Why did the government of India not step in earlier? Number 3, why did the government of India export vaccines at the cost of Indian citizens? Number 4, what steps did the government of India take from September 2020 to March 2021 to diversify your vaccine basket? Because we're a country of 1.3 billion people. Surely Mr. Modi should have realized that we would need to rope in foreign manufacturers. Number 5, under our constitutional scheme of things, interstate immunizations. And I repeat, all interstate inoculations and immunizations for notified diseases since 1947 has been the responsibility of the central government under the concurrent list of our 7th schedule. So therefore, Narendra Modi just cannot shed responsibility.
Okay.
And more importantly, of course, vaccines is one aspect.
Right.
The second aspect which people are facing even today, Rishika, is the shortage of antifungal drugs.
Right.
Today there is a shortage of drugs to treat black fungus, to treat white fungus.
Yes, I think
What does the government do? And
it's
lastly, Rishika, I'll just take 30 more seconds. Another problem which people are facing from rural areas and those who are not technologically savvy is about the accessibility of the COVID app.
Right.
Not everybody has a smartphone.
Okay. And the government has decided now that there will be walk-in registration for those who don't have access to technology. But the government has once again left it to the discretion of the states. I will get Geeta Bhatt to respond to all of that. But Reena Gupta, do you want to come in? Because the Delhi government has also flagged several of these issues, including doublespeak. On one side, the government saying that you're allowed to go out into the free market and buy your vaccine. And on the other hand, we have this letter that surfaces where the Delhi government says that the quota for June has been rationed.
So, Rishika, I would like to quote the 2 words that Lancet has used for India's vaccination policy. And Lancet says that the policy is washed up and falling apart. And that is exactly the issue that we are facing today. But, what really pains me is that even now the government is not waking up and taking any concrete measures. All it's interested in is giving out these press releases, mythbusters. For several weeks now, Delhi government has been saying that why don't we use the compulsory licensing provision and why don't we invite some of the domestic PSU manufacturers?
Right.
I'll give you one example. There is an integrated vaccine facility in Tamil Nadu which has been sitting idle since 2016. There are 6 other public sector units which have the ability to manufacture these vaccines. I would agree that maybe the sharing of Covishield technology is a little difficult, but Covaxin is the same technology that we've been using for decades in this country to manufacture vaccines. So why can't the government use the existing public sector facilities to make these vaccines, which really, begs us to ask the question that what is the motive? Why are we continuing to only allow 2 companies to manufacture vaccines? And, the second issue being the issue of equity. There have been several reports, and today the Karnataka High Court actually raised this question, that why are we allowing 25% of the quota to be given to the private sector, and suppose the private sector in one state is not able to use it, then actually the state government cannot use that quota.
Those are all larger logistical questions, and I'm afraid we don't have time to address each one of them. I wish we did. But, I want to bring in Geeta Bhatt, political analyst. Her views lean towards the BJP. Geeta Bhatt, 2 questions, and very simply. One is the fact that the government felt the need to come out with a clarification or a myth buster or some kind of damage control obviously means that the government is feeling the heat in terms of the criticism it's facing over vaccine shortage and vaccine policy. And 2, wouldn't it be better if we had a roadmap on what the plan of action is going forward when it comes to empowering states with the doses that they need to vaccinate their population?
Well, Rishika, at such a critical time, there is an echo, if you can please correct it. So, at such a critical time when people from all walks of life need to come together so that, during the time of this global crisis, the nation can sail through. This is rather unfortunate that for the last couple of months, the kind of politics that is being done over vaccines ever since in January, it was rolled out, is something that, because of which it was required that there are certain issues which are being raised and a perception that is being, tried to create it by political parties that needed to be addressed by the government. At the same time, you also raised an issue that why is it that there is not a rollout program? Almost every day, the head minister, the joint secretary and higher officials of the health ministry, they have been coming out and they have been briefing the press and the country about the status of the vaccination and other all related issues. And one thing that I want to bring forth here is that at such a critical time when the political parties, irrespective of their political positions, and trying to take political advantage of such type of a situation where there is a pandemic happening.
The vaccine shortage is real. No political party or state is manufacturing the fact that there is a shortage, an acute shortage of COVID-19 vaccines.
No, Shika, you see, the government has not denied it. They have said that, yes, there are, supply bottlenecks also, and even the experts
should we have been better prepared for it? Should we, let me put it this way, should we have been better prepared for it?
I'll come to that, that by July that we will be having good amount of, vaccines available and would be able to, the experts have been saying that. Now, also, I would like to raise this, before I come to your next question, Rishika, I want to also put forth that there have been very, sorry to say, irresponsible behavior from very senior people. The health ministers of the state of Chhattisgarh, of Jharkhand, the kind of statement raising concern over when the vaccination drive was to start regarding the efficacy of the vaccine and trying, to give
that ship has sailed. From vaccine hesitancy, we've moved to vaccine desperation.
Why is it that the political parties leaders never thought of coming out and saying, encouraging people and saying that they need to vaccinate themselves?
I am completely out of time on this broadcast. But the fact that the government has had to come out and issue a justification or a myth buster on its vaccine strategy in itself says a lot. We've put out the details of what the government has said. We will continue to track this story very closely.